everyone, I'm Skye Peterson-Bennett and I'm a Creative Memories Advisor from Tucson, Arizona. I'm really excited to be joining you for the virtual crop. Today I'm going to show you how to trim a Peekaboo Pocket down to a size that's perfect for the project that you're working on. I'm going to be using a 6x12 Peekaboo, but you can use any of the sizes that are available. Peekaboos are great for not just adding space for additional photos, journaling, and embellishments, but also adding interest and fun to your albums by making them interactive. This is the sketch I'm using with the new Staycation collection. I'm going to be putting the vertical strip that's on the left side of the layout into the Peekaboo Pocket. I've used cardstock for my base, and I've used designer paper on both sides along with photos and embellishments, border strip, and a journaling box. To create a custom Peekaboo Pocket, you're going to need your 12-inch trimmer with the straight and scoring blades, adhesive. I recommend the repositionable adhesive, a Peekaboo Pocket, a strip of paper that we're going to be using to make a seam, and a few sticky notes. To ensure that it fits properly, I'm going to make my Peekaboo Pocket 1/8 of an inch wider than what I'm going to be putting into it. This ensures that the contents fit nicely into the Peekaboo and don't get wrinkled or look over full. You're going to use your 12-inch trimmer to cut the Peekaboo in much the same way that you would use it to cut paper. Before you make your cut, you want to make sure that you're cutting off the closed side of the Peekaboo Pocket and that your opening and adhesive strip are on your left side, and we want this closed side on your right side. You're also going to fold over that adhesive strip so that when you cut it, it represents the width of how it's going to be when you put it on your page. You want to line up your Peekaboo Pocket, the left side of your Peekaboo Pocket at your desired measurement. And because this one is a 12-inch, I can use both the top and bottom measurement marks on my trimmer. And you're going to use your left hand to secure that Peekaboo Pocket in place. When cutting the Peekaboo, I recommend that you start in the middle rather than at the top or the bottom. And we're going to use a pretty firm hand when we engage the blade housing. So we're going to press down and slide fairly steady and slowly up to the top of the blade track. And then we're going to bring that blade housing down all the way to the bottom. I also would make a second pass all the way through to ensure that that Peekaboo has been cut through. You can discard the piece that's left, and now you've got a Peekaboo Pocket that's been cut on this side, and we need to create a seal to close up this edge so that our contents don't fall out. In my case, I'm going to use a strip of paper that will replicate the mat, but you could use any contrasting or coordinating piece of paper or even a piece of designer paper when you do this. You can really make it any width that you want, but I'm going to make mine look like my mat, so I'm going to cut a strip of paper that's twice the width of my mat. And I have done that, and we want to score it. Now this is a narrow strip of paper, so I want to be sure that it stays in place and doesn't slip when I'm doing my scoring. And I use this technique when I trim small pieces of paper too. So I'm going to use some Post-it notes to secure this strip in place on my trimmer base. And you want to be sure and swap out your blade so that you've got your scoring blade, it's orange, in place. And we're going to take the blade housing and just run a nice score line right down the middle of that strip. I'm going to remove that. Now, this is cardstock, so I want a nice firm crease on my score line. So I'm going to fold that over, and then I'm going to run my fingernail down the length of it. If you don't have nails, you could use the edge of a ruler or a bone knife. If you're using designer paper, you want to be a little bit more gentle with that fold. So now I'm going to open that back up and place it on my mat here so that I have the access to the full length of it. And I'm going to take my repositional tape runner and I'm going to run my tape runner the full length of this strip, all the way down. And then I'm going to fold that back up just a little bit so that I can lay it down and have kind of a right angle there, an L shape, as it's laying on my mat. I'm going to take my cut side, the newly opened side of the Peekaboo Pocket, and I'm going to position that right into that fold crease. Okay. Now, you'll notice that the Peekaboo Pocket is about 1/8 of an inch longer on either end than your strip of paper. Excuse me, 1/16 of an inch on either end. And that's just for the seams that are there. All right, and now we're gonna fold over that top fold onto the top of our Peekaboo, and again, we're just gonna press that down nice and tight to ensure that we've got the perfect seal. And now we do. All right, so when you're inserted, the contents of your Peekaboo Pocket are in place, we're going to adhere this to our page. You're going to take that adhesive strip. It's got a plastic cover, and sometimes those can be a little bit hard to get off. I tend to kind of roll and fold that flap so that I can get that up and pull it off. And then you're just going to put this in place on your page exactly where you want it. Your page needs to be either in a top loading page or have a page protector over it. And line it up as desired. I kind of work from the bottom up, but everybody's probably a little bit different. When you get that in place, again, just run a nice firm hand over that so that your seal is in place. And you can open up your page protector or your Peekaboo, and voila, you have now a little bit extra space for some additional photos, and you've added a lot of interest to your layout. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video and might give this technique a try. And I can't wait to see everybody's interpretations of this sketch. Thanks for watching.